Home and podcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a home improvement podcast. My name is Adam. You're my co-host, Jordan. Hello, Jordan, and good day to you.
Good evening, my friend. No, I guess it's not evening. Good afternoon, my friend. How are you?
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure talking with you today.
Man, I feel like you must be in a good mood because you just shared with me. I mean, we both should be in good moods because you said you're in your tennis playoffs. You just clinched to make your playoffs. Yes. That's huge news that we need to share. My book is now out.
Whoa.
So that's an exciting thing. So we're both just sitting on top of the world.
If this is the top of the world, then I have some questions and a lot of disappointments now.
Didn't I just tell you the other day that I have really low expectations for stuff, and so it kind of helps. We won't talk exactly what that whole conversation was about necessarily because it would be a downer, but you keep the low expectations, and then everything seems golden.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're right. It's a bleak outlook, Jordan, but
it's kind of the whole way I've been taking season 8 of Home Improvement.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We'll talk about this episode, but I gotta say, expectations a little bit surpassed, but we'll get into it in a little bit. Yeah, tennis playoffs, great. Obviously, congratulations on your book. Do you want to give the title again? Just
Finding Jesus in a World of Wizards. You can go to it's a mouthful. You can go to Amazon or you can go to jordanlyons.com. You'll find it. It's easier just to go to jordanlyons.com, I think.
You should be going there every day anyways, right? jordanlyons.com.
There's just abundances of new content.
Yeah, abundances. That's a word.
That's why I'm a writer.
Speaking of books, Jordan, I'm reading this book right now. I sent you a picture of it. It's Oral History of The Office. Official title here is The Office, The Untold Story of the Greatest Sitcom of the 2000s, an Oral History. Probably should have maybe shortened that, workshopped that one a little bit more. But I'm reading this book, and I'm about halfway through, really enjoying it. If you're an Office fan, I would highly recommend. It's, just giving a lot of good information, some interesting stuff. A lot of Jennifer, again, we never learned to say her name right, but a lot of Jennifer Salata or Colada.
It's Salata.
Salata, okay. Home improvement writer. Getting a lot of her sort of wisdom and insights, so I'm really enjoying that. But I've been thinking, I wanted to pose this question to you, and I haven't really thought through this myself, but so right now, you got this Office book. The Office is very popular. There's the Office Ladies podcast with
Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey.
And kind of divorcing myself of my feelings with regards to people that were on a show hosting a podcast about that show, kind of infringing on our turf. I'm going to separate myself from that. I wanted to ask you, Jordan, what two home improvement cast members do you think would be best suited to or most likely to start a home improvement podcast, a la Home and Podcast, or to a much lesser known degree, Gruntwork?
Lesser is definitely the word there. So these are cast members who would start a home improvement rewatch podcast.
I've been trying to think through it. It's not an easy answer, but
it really isn't. Yeah. You want to just work our way through? Yeah,
let's just kind of work our way through
the main people. Okay. So Tim's not going to do it. Too popular, doing too many things, right?
Absolutely not. And let's also say, without being too judgmental, if you've achieved a certain level of popularity or you're a working actor, you're probably not doing this. Fair to say?
Yeah, I think... Well, I don't know. I guess so. I know Angela Kinsey is doing a bunch of different stuff. I don't know if Jenna Fisher is, so it's hard to... With that specific example, I'm not sure if that's true or not, but yeah, I think if you're Tim Allen, if you're Steve Carell...
No way.
It's not happening.
All right. Richard Karn, what do you think?
I think he'd do it, yeah.
So I was thinking, I think he's definitely attached to the home improvement stuff still, obviously. He went to that baseball game or whatever, doing a lot of appearances, signing stuff. but would he have the follow through? Would he want to cover every episode? I feel like he would want to do.
Well, if you're gonna start there, no one wants to do that. We didn't want to do it, and then we ended up doing it.
I know, but you really need to follow through. You need to really want to cover every episode. And the Office ladies, they're doing it. They're going through every episode. Would Karn Man really want to commit to that? I don't know. But I would say he probably would do it.
He seemed. If we're saying who's more likely, it's definitely him over Tim.
All right. What about PR? No way, right?
Yeah, I don't know if she wants to revisit the show or not.
Yeah,
it's hard to know.
So
it's hard to know by her interview.
It seems selectively. It seems like she does, but I feel like she's got a lot going on, and I just can't imagine her really wanting to. She'll talk about it from time to time, but yeah, unlikely. All right. What about JTT? No way, right? No.
I mean, he left the show in such striking fashion. It would be a shock for him to come back and do it.
It'd be pretty cool though. If he started a home improvement podcast, it would be pretty big news.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if he did it, he would do it with ZTB, right? Aren't they in that production company together or something?
They were working on a pilot together or something.
Oh, a pilot. That's what it was.
All right, let's move to ZTB. What do you think?
I don't think he's into it at all.
I think it would be hard for a couple of reasons. One, I think if he's going to start a podcast, it's going to be probably political. I feel like he would have a hard time kind of separating that from home improvement stuff. And I don't know. I kind of thought at first maybe he would do it because I don't know. He seems like he's still kind of dining off of the home improvement stuff a little bit. So maybe he'd want to sort of go back and revisit it and whatever. But yeah, I think I don't know. He's got other stuff going on. It seems kind of unlikely. But if I had to choose, I would probably say him and Karn would be the most likely.
What about Debbie Dunning?
I thought about that, but she doesn't come until later. So she's gonna want to cover the episode she's not in. What insight is she gonna have?
Well, she's got the perspective of us, so
that's true.
It's very valuable.
I did think about her.
Well, she was in that really early episode. I thought.
Yeah.
It was only 2 seasons that she wasn't there, right?
I know, Jordan, but that's 50 episodes.
But there's 8 seasons, so she's in 75% of them.
It'd be funny if she just started in season 3. She's I'm only covering the episodes I'm in.
Plus that one guest appearance.
Plus when she played Kiki, whatever. TNS, no chance.
Only if it's on a submarine.
Only if he and his mom collaborate on it and then turn it into a book. Yeah, I think that's kind of... Oh, well, Earl Hindman has passed away, so no.
You think he'd do it as a ghost?
The Dead Do Not podcast.
That you know of.
That's true. What is that? That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, I mean then you're getting into guest characters is William O'Leary going to do it, or is, people like that? I don't know. Then I think it's pure... I
would totally listen to a podcast that William O'Leary hosted, because it would be wild.
Pure conjecture on our point. All the other stuff is based firmly in fact, and now we're just kind of going off. So
yeah,
it doesn't seem like a straightforward thing, but maybe Office Ladies didn't seem like a straightforward thing at the time.
You know what? Sometimes you gotta forge your own path, Jordan, just like we did. So I guess my final answer is Richard Karn and Debbie Dunning co-host a home improvement podcast.
And we've got JTT and ZTB for me.
Okay, interesting. All right, I'm gonna put it up and see as a poll whose pod is going to be more successful.
Well, you're running out of poll content, so this fits.
Did it seem like I was last week?
I thought you used all of it then. Seemed like it.
Yeah, I kind of this week would indicate that was true because I didn't have a lot to say. All right, man. Let's get into it.
Well, we might have more to say about episode 189. Man, we're getting close to the 190s here. Whew. Chop, till
we're
you
actually
drop.
We're actually one away from 190.
Is that how math works? Every step, we're one step closer. We're going to get down to the last 15 or something here. Anyway, written by David Maples. He last did Tim's first car. He's all about first cars.
Interesting.
That's what he's all about. This one aired January 5th, 1998. So we're now in 1998, final year of the show.
Wow. Crazy. I heard, have you heard David Maples' podcast? It's about syrup.
Are you still doing improv?
No, man.
I can tell.
There's no, coronavirus is they're not letting people do those classes, so I'm a little bit rusty. Workshop.
They probably do a Zoom improv
I'm
somewhere.
still kind of fresh off of that, what was that joke? That was probably my proudest joke I've ever had on the show. Pollock. That was probably my best joke. Do you remember that? If you don't remember, I'm not going to say anymore.
Yeah,
there's nothing better than reciting.
That's a deep cut. If you want to know that, you have to go back to all of our episodes and find out what he's talking about.
It's like 5 episodes ago. It won't take that long. But all right, let's get into alternative titles.
All right.
I have 5.
I've got 4 really bad ones, so I'll let you go first.
Under the Hood and Undercover.
All right. How about Caught Purple-Handed?
Kind of like that.
Good.
Not bad. That price is dough nuts.
That's a good one. I did just a really simple one that was just, riffing off of David Maple's last episode. Brad's first car.
That is simple, but you know what? It's apt.
They
Jordan.
did Tim's first car, so I figured why wouldn't they do Brad's first car?
Why not indeed? How about this? The hero Detroit deserves. Not the hero it wants or needs.
Or needs, but it deserves it. Yeah. Heroes, you should say.
Indeed, yeah.
How about Stewin' and Sleuthin'?
Couldn't quite make a stew one work. This is a singing one, so give me a minute here. Mustang Bradley, think you better slow your Mustang down.
Every time you say Bradley, it really brings me back to Jennifer Zdarsky.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My last one. By George, they did it.
Is that guy's name George?
That's correct.
Is that the thing? Okay. I was surprised to see that. That's an interesting return character 3 years later.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect that one. That's for sure.
Did not expect that. That must have been a surprise phone call to him.
He's like, I'll take the money, sure.
He's like, yeah, sure, you guys remember me? Last one for me. It doesn't really make sense, but I had to do something. So this is Mark a la mode.
I like it, though. It's good.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to open at home. Brad is admiring his hair and his looks, and Jill catches him. The logo's on stilts in the background. There's just a lot going on right here.
Yeah, what's the stilts? What's the deal?
I don't know. He just wanted to be seen. Everybody wants to be seen, Adam.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. There's an octopus in the fridge, and it's for Red Wings games, which is the thing. Now that I think about it, it seemed really weird, but it was just a thing that we knew of in Michigan, I felt like.
Yeah, this was rampant.
Rampant?
I mean, it was rampant at the Red Wings games. Yeah, this is like peak Red Wings. I mean, we're not hockey fans, but like this is like peak Red Wings Stanley Cup era. They were very, very big in Michigan, and yes, the octopus, or plural octopi, as Jill is correct in saying, throwing that on the ice was definitely a big deal. It is weird looking back, but I didn't think it was weird.
It is weird. I looked up the history of it, and it started, if it was in the 50s or the 60s, I can't remember, but basically they had like 8 more wins to win the Stanley Cup, and so the 8 legs on an octopus symbolize that, and it just kind of stuck.
That seems really like a stupid reason, but sure.
Yeah, there's a whole Wikipedia page about it if people really want to go down
Things
that.
have to start some way. That's interesting. Okay.
All right, so this night, Tim's going to go to the Red Wings game. Jill's going to go to the movies with Patty. We haven't seen her in a long time, but she's still around. And there are no cars left for Brad, which shocked me because for some reason I thought he already had a car.
Always seemed like it. Well, don't they have 3 cars? What's the third car? What's the situation there?
I think they won't let him drive the Healy is the other thing. Or something like that.
Well, save yourself some money and just let him drive that car.
Well, when you're part of the upper middle class, Adam, you don't have that problem.
Seriously, Tim's got a freaking car budget? Yeah, that must be nice.
Yeah, that is not something I have. There are no cars left for Brad.
I mean, yeah, my car budget is just my regular budget, and it just, comes out of it.
It's just my car payment that I'm trying to get rid of as soon as possible. All right, Tim says that Brad can take a bike. He has a date, and it's funny that this is like a whole thing, like, can't Samantha just pick him up? But Brad says, enough is enough. When will I get my own car? And he's saved $2,000. He's got all A and B's on his report card. So he's earned it, he says. and Jill says, "Cool, we're gonna match your $2,000." Tim starts dreaming of what he can do with Brad's car, and Brad kind of reins him in a little bit, and then we do find out that the money is going to come from Tim's car budget. But
of course, yeah, how could it not? A couple things here. Kind of surprising that a big car guy like Tim would not want to get Brad a brand new car, or get him a car as soon as he turns 16.
It seemed like a natural rite of passage.
Especially, that's we've talked about this, how we got our licenses the day we turned 16. It was then, and I think it probably still is a pretty big deal particularly in Michigan. It seems like when you turn 16, you got a car to drive, and you're going to go out and drive it. So it's a little bit strange. Another thing I liked about the scene was I thought it was funny when Brad says, I saved $2,000 and I got all A's and B's. How Jill is impressed that he saved $2,000 and Tim is surprised that he got all A's and B's. I thought that was just kind of funny.
Yeah, that was a good joke there. We've talked about our first cars before at length, so I guess we don't have to rehash that or anything like that, right?
I don't need to.
Okay.
No.
Good. If anybody wants to know, they'll let us know.
It's littered throughout past episodes, I would say. All right, tool time. Salute to used cars.
Hey.
We got Brad in the audience, and they're going to just sort of they're going to do the whole thing, soup to nuts. They're going to give it they have a Mustang. They're going to give it an inspection, and they're going to negotiate on live TV. And I got to say, this is pretty interesting for tool time. I like this idea.
Yeah, this is a good way of Tim, segueing what they're going to do in his home life into the show. I think you said it was a Mustang. It's an 88 Mustang GT. Sounds fancy, but I know nothing about cars. But that's it's an old car. This is 1999 and filmed in 98, so it's a 10-year-old car, I guess, at that point, right?
Yeah. So like I said, Brad's there. We got Mr. Michael McCready is going to come out, and they're going to, like I said, negotiate and stuff. But here's a twist, Jordan. It's a woman.
Oh, my. An older woman as well.
An older woman.
Thelma.
I got a bio. Thelma. Familiar to me. She is best known, let me first give her name, which is Catherine Houston, or perhaps Houston.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, you don't need improv classes. It's just natural. I knew her from Desperate Housewives.
Okay.
I tell you what, we all had Desperate Housewives fever in the mid-2000s. I don't know if you did, but...
No, I can't say that.
Oh, man, you missed out. That was good stuff. 2 Primetime Emmys to her name.
Really?
From Desperate Housewives. Outstanding Guest Actress, 2 times over, 05 and 08. First season of Desperate Housewives, really good. What else we got? So, other roles include Desperate Housewives Wedding Crashers. She plays Chaz's mom. Hostage, Bedtime Stories, and 120 credits to her name. But yeah, for me, Desperate Housewives was it. She's playing older in this than she actually was because she passed away. Oh no, I didn't know.
Bummer.
She passed away in 2012 at the age of 72. So at the time of this episode, she would have been in her late 50s. So they're definitely aged her up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's too bad. But in any case, she comes out and she brings some donuts. She's very kind, but Tim is skeptical, sort of. He it's like he's seen this whole song and dance before. Notice Richard Connor was kind of flubbing a lot of his lines.
Really?
Like 2 times I noticed. It was weird.
He was thinking about them donuts.
He was, yeah. She brings donuts. Al takes one. Tim is kind of negotiating with her. Al is inspecting, but also eating a donut. He spills jelly.
Oh, no.
Under the hood. What did he spill it on exactly?
Oh.
It comes back later.
It sure does. It's, it's like the transmission, I think, maybe.
Oh, it's just part of a car. Who cares?
Let's name all the car parts that we can right now.
Carburetor, engine.
Alternator, spark plug.
Stop, that's it.
Engine.
I said that already.
Oh, dang it. That's all we got, 3.
Al spills jelly. That jelly is going to play a big role in this episode. You don't know it at this point, but that jelly is important.
I did know it very soon, though. I must have remembered this episode or something.
Okay, I did not. She's a shrewd negotiator.
Yeah.
Tim's lowballing her. The original price, the blue book, is 4. But Tim's blowing it. Brad kind of appeals to her, and she says, "Okay, I'll give it to you for $2,500." But you got to pay for the donuts. How much are the donuts? $2,000.
Those are expensive donuts.
Artisanal?
Adam, what's your favorite type of donut?
Oh, man, I love donuts. We have, a really fancy donut place by us. Like, I can almost see it from my window right now, which is a little bit dangerous for the old waistline, if you know what I'm saying. My favorite
what are you saying?
I'm saying I'd put on weight if I ate too many donuts, Jordan. If I'm not being too subtle. My favorite kind of donut, I like almost all kinds of donuts. I don't like jelly or custard filled.
Oh, I hate custard. Oh.
My favorites, I like a coconut donut.
Really?
I like a nutty donut, and I like an old-fashioned kind of sour cream donut.
Yeah. It's hard to go wrong with donuts. I also love them. This is something we share. One of the very few things we share is we both love donuts.
Is that how you feel? I think we have a lot in common.
My very favorite donut on all of Earth is a sprinkled donut from VG's Bakery. Oh, man.
Get out more, man.
Oh, man.
VG's Bakery, come on.
It's super good. I don't know if you're like, you've got like Krispy Kreme donuts. You've got like the traditional donuts, Dunkin' Donuts. I do not like the Krispy Kreme type of donut. That is not my thing. So
I don't, I'll eat it, but like, yeah, it's not my favorite either. This place by us does like crazy kind of donuts, like with like, I don't know, like puppy chow or like candy bar stuff on it, and
that's always fun.
Yeah, they're wild, but I like them. But I'll tell you what, they don't cost $2,000.
No.
Although sometimes it feels like it when I'm paying the check, if you know what I mean.
There's a place down here, not that close to us, but it's called Duck Donuts, and they make them all fresh, and you can kind of customize it with all that kind of stuff. That's pretty good. Really.
At the end of this episode, Mark was making duck donuts, if I'm not mistaken.
There's not ducks in these donuts. Okay. There's a Dunkin' right around the corner from us that I've gone to quite a few times. They've got a good blueberry donut that I like, but I mean,
well, you can't beat Dunkin'.
I mean, you can. I still think.
I mean, it's pretty good though.
I love cinnamon sugar donuts. I love powdered sugar donuts. I love old fashioned.
The one time I visited your hometown, I did go to a Dunkin' Donuts on my way out of there.
Wow. It probably wasn't the same Dunkin'.
Only one way to find out. All right, next scene.
Later, Brad is there. He has taken pictures of him with the Mustang, this is pretty funny. He comes home with, all of the pictures. So this is back in the days when you couldn't just take them with your phone. You had to get out your camera.
Okay, so are you saying this is like pre cell phone? Mind you, this is pre-internet?
You could say that. So he's got various pictures. The first gas station fill up, him waxing his car, oil change, being silly with the car.
I like the being silly.
Yeah, it's funny. That's funny. Yeah. And he got one framed for Tim. And I guess this is kind of what we were talking about as far as like Tim. We're shocked that Tim didn't buy his first car like immediately because
it's weird.
This is something Tim would love. So I don't know, but it's a very short scene, but interesting no less. Later, Mark is making stew. Mm-hmm. This is the B plot stew, and Jill is shocked by how good it is. Mark followed the recipe. It's about time that we found something good for Mark to do. Good is in quotes, I think. It's all relative.
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah, Jill isn't offended as you would expect because I guess this means Mark's going to be making dinner for the foreseeable future. Brad comes in with terrible news. Just ruins Mark's moment of goodness here because his car got stolen in front of the high school, no less.
Yeah, the Brad lied where he's like, I always had bad feelings about that place. I laughed out loud. Like I really it was a big one for me.
He had to ride the bus home, and they said, "What's the cool guy doing on the bus?" Yeah, it's a funny scene. They have got some good jokes here. Police don't think they can find it, and he doesn't.
Do you think the problem that Tim has with when he calls the cops is he calls those fake cops from the Halloween episode, and they're like, "We're actually not real cops, so we don't have any jurisdiction."
Yeah, you have no chance getting it. Yeah. But I thought they were real cops.
We never really settled that, Jordan.
I think they were. Brad doesn't want another car. He wants his car. He got very attached to it. I mean, there's some time that passed here because we don't know how long. But, enough time to get an oil change. He had to fill up the gas tank, all this kind of stuff. So must have been some time that he was driving that car around.
I'd say I get a week, maybe 2 weeks.
I was going to say a month. Mark's been cooking for a month.
All right, we're splitting hairs, but yeah, sure. All right, home. Brad's kind of just pacing. He's really nervous. I can't remember if it's this scene or the last scene where Tim is like talking about Mark's food, and he's like, "We don't usually eat this good." I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah, Brad is definitely stewing in this scene, don't you think?
You are correct in saying that. So yeah, I was gonna ask. I don't. Maybe we talked about this, but like, Brad asked Tim if he's ever had a car stolen, and Tim says he's had a lot of other disasters. And I was wondering, I'm guessing you probably haven't had a car stolen.
My parents have. My parents have had multiple cars stolen, actually.
At a certain point, it stops being, perhaps they're at fault. Tell me about one of them.
I wish I remembered more. Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember them telling me they got stolen a couple times. I feel like one was in Flint, maybe,
sure.
and just like, just taken. Everything's taken. I forget which car. My parents have owned so many cars. My dad is definitely a car guy, so they can give more information. I'm sure my mom will provide after this episode much more detail. But I don't really remember very much besides multiple cars have been stolen.
Wow.
And, it's a shame. It's a real shame.
That's pretty crazy to have. I think it'd be wild to have it happen once, but multiple times. They should stop leaving the keys in it and it running, places.
You would think that would be, and they leave like a sign in the window that says like,
free car?
Take
free
me.
Car?
Yeah.
Question mark? Yeah, it's weird.
It's a bad idea. So, what about you and your family?
No, I not that I'm aware of, no. I had the house broken into once, but never... Yeah, never a car stolen, but...
it must be unnerving to have your house broken into.
I wasn't born yet, but yeah, I guess it was, yeah. But, there's still plenty of time to get a car stolen, so they're pretty careless, so I can see it happening.
Cross your fingers!
Yeah. This scene ends with they do find the car, and they have an address, so they're heading out to...
456 Franklin?
Yeah, and they reference Adams as well, which are, real Detroit streets, so, yeah.
Yeah, they put so much time into that car. They get to the car, and it's been completely stripped. The officer says, there's nothing we can do. Car parts aren't, marked or anything like that. So how are we ever going to catch them unless we catch them red-handed? And this is where the jelly's going to come into play, right? Brad and Tim will not take no for an answer. They will not give up. And Tim goes, this is weird. Tim goes on a rant of, past...
Greatest hits?
Yeah, accomplishments, I guess I wrote. And
I always like it when they reference things that have actually happened on the show.
Yeah, it was good callbacks, but it's, him souping up the lawnmower and stuff like that.
Shooting the grill into space.
And don't tell him he can't get this car back. And the crowd goes nuts. It's pretty strange for...
I gotta believe the crowd, somebody
that was canned, yeah.
Yeah, somebody really forced them to clap that loud, because it's not that, I mean, it's a fine little rah-rah speech, but it's not stellar. I did like Jill's response at the end of this, though, if you want to say that.
Yeah, but first your fly is down, Tim.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That put him in his place.
This cop, I understand that there's not a lot he could do, but he isn't real tactful.
He's pretty flippant, yeah.
Yeah, if you understand that this is kind of a sad thing for these people, so just, maybe give them even a little bit of hope, perhaps even if it's not true.
It's another day for him. He's seen this a million times.
Jaded Detroit cops,
Yeah.
All right. Home. Mark's still cooking up a storm. Tim calls the cops because he has a lead somehow. How did he get this lead, or how does he know about this chop shop?
He heard about a salvage shop that might be not on the up and up. I don't remember where he gets that from, though.
How cryptic. But they say they need a warrant, which I don't understand a lot about police work. Jordan, I'm not a cop. I'll just say
you're not.
But, I know you keep calling me officer during texts and stuff.
You asked me to call you sergeant.
That's yeah. And
Sarge. Sorry, it was Sarge.
Yeah, Sarge. Yeah. Someday maybe I'll be sergeant. No, I don't know if that's how it works.
No.
Yeah, they say they need a warrant, but I don't think you need a warrant just to go there. I don't know. Seems like they could check it out, but they're just not that worried about it.
It's not like somebody's home. It's just an establishment of business.
Yeah, you could just go in there,
case it out a little bit.
They just don't. They don't care about some I don't know, upper middle class kid whose car got... maybe that's
They got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, that's right. But Tim, he's got to investigate. So he's going to... But hey, Mark made souffle.
Yeah, because Tim and Jill are yelling at each other. Souffles, I don't know if you know this, Adam, they are very temperamental desserts. So the yelling might pop the souffle.
You think I don't know about souffle?
I thought you were just a donut guy.
Are you calling me a liar?
Sorry, Sarge.
Yeah. Hey, right back at you, pal. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's the end of that scene. Later, outside, Wilson is getting ready to give honey to his friend, and we're going to give this clip to you.
Yeah, okay, so listeners, as you listen to this clip, I want someone to try to explain to me the honey joke, okay? Because I didn't get it.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm getting ready to give my honey to a friend.
She sounds like a very understanding woman.
No, Tim. See, I'm bottling honey to take to a Crespian festival. Did you realize that in Crespia they pay homage to honey because to them it's symbolic of gold?
How do they celebrate that in Detroit?
Well, we have a little honey, and then we get all liquored up and put on funny hats. Do you want to come?
I'm not in that funny of a mood.
So I take it you're still upset about Brad's car.
You're darn right I am. And I even got a tip of who might have stolen it. But the police aren't interested because they don't have any evidence. You know, I feel so helpless.
You know, I was robbed once when I was 12. I was riding my brother's unicycle.
Did they steal one of your tires?
No. This big bully came, pushed me off, and took it.
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything. It's that hooligan Terry Zavakis sold it. I didn't have any evidence.
So you never caught him?
Her. One of the most humiliating experiences of my life. I mean, just talking about it right now is just bringing up all these ugly memories. God, I hated Terry Zavakis and Rosie band.
Hey, calm down, buddy. Just think about all the fun you'll have at that lesbian festival.
That's a Crespian festival. And you're right, I do have to collect myself. I must call my good friend Guillermo and remind him to bring the donuts.
Donuts. Donuts. That's the answer to my question.
What?
Yeah, Mrs. McCready, the boysenberry filling, the manifold, Al slobbering all over. It's totally clear right now. Thanks, Wilson.
I think somebody's been doing a little celebrating on their own.
All right, so you get this honey joke?
I think it's one of those very veiled sexual jokes that they like to use.
A little too veiled. Like, I don't... And I wish I could remember what he says better, but, like...
He just says he was going to give honey to his friend.
Yeah, and they're like, really, that person's really understanding.
I don't know. All I know is that honey is symbolic of gold, Adam.
This episode has a lot of really good jokes, I think, actually, and some good one-liners, but, like, they needed to spend a little bit more time on that one because I can't even begin to understand what that means. But.
Well, yeah, so you heard the clip there. Maybe you get it better than we do. Tim spills on the salvage shop, and Wilson recounts the fact that he was robbed when he was 12. A unicycle was stolen right from under him by Terry Zavaka, I think it was.
Yeah. Which
is a classic home improvement name if I've ever heard one.
Pretty good, yeah.
Stole it and sold it, but Wilson had no evidence to get Terry in trouble. Wilson still holds a grudge. We get a lesbian festival joke. Ha ha ha. Wilson mentions donuts, and that gives Tim a wild idea.
Yeah. Tim feels helpless, he says. Man, that lesbian joke. Classic 1998.
Was it the episode before this? There was like in the same trans one. So they just bring Wilson out for those jokes.
Yeah, it's really great for poor old deceased Earl Hindman. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Tim has a plan. We don't know what it is quite yet, but it's gonna be good.
All I know is that Adam, you love when a plan comes together.
Yeah, I do. I felt like this one could have used a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe they could have spent a little more time bringing it together, but it all works out in the end. Backstage, Tim's wearing a fake mustache.
Looks pretty good, actually.
I think so too. Maybe he should actually grow a mustache. It seems like it would kind of work for him.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I said it.
All right. I'll say it again.
How many times do you want me to say it, Sarge?
2 or 3 times. Heidi says this is not a good idea because, she can sense that Tim wants to take matters into his own hand. Vigilante justice.
I guess Jill and Heidi are the only reasonable people in this episode. and the cup.
It's super dangerous, yeah. Al, I don't know how he talked Al into doing this. Al seemed, he's kind of usually pretty cowardly, but he's game. Al comes in, they're talking about disguises. Tim's got the mustache. Al comes in, and he's wearing like how do you describe those hats?
They're like camping hats, aren't they? Or like hunting hats?
Yeah, it's hunting hat with the flaps and the sides. Yeah. But he has a very, very obvious, just like camera mounted on top. That's kind of the joke, just how obvious it is.
Yep. Adam, this next scene tricked me.
This is a really good joke, actually, and it was a good joke. I think I also felt a sense of relief as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, when I found out they weren't going to do it, but like the joke in and of itself is like, like obviously consider the context and stuff, but it's a pretty good joke, I would say.
Yeah. So we go to an outside location. There are two women who are not facing the camera; they're facing the other direction, and you hear Tim and Al talking. So you get the impression that they are dressed up as women, but then the women walk away, and you see Tim and Al, and they are just in like really weird costumes. And yes, I did sigh a big sigh of relief here. Yeah,
it's pretty good. Whoever directed this, that was a good blocking and stuff, just a good visual gag for sure. How would you describe their outfits? Like Tim is, I don't know, Red Wings hat, mustache. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, just he just got kind of like general things to kind of change your appearance. Al, on the other hand, has like a mini afro kind of and a very puffy jacket. And
Tim's passes, Al's doesn't really. I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. Al also has glasses as well. So Al, doesn't look quite like this could be an actual human. They go inside the salvage shop. I don't know if we ever get a name of it, but there's someone at the desk who is very familiar to me. And then I looked him.
I got a bio.
Yeah, look him up.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I thought I recognized him. I looked at the stuff he was in. I guess I must remember him just from this episode. I don't know.
So his name is Brent Hinckley.
Oh, I guess I know him from Seinfeld too, but
who's he playing? Well, look at that. 82 credits to his name. Best known for Silence of the Lambs, Ed Wood, Falling Down, and Universal Soldier: The Return. Who does he play in Seinfeld?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I felt like when I went through the list, he was in a Seinfeld episode.
Oh, the Merv Griffith Show, Lou. Okay. See, I actually just saw this guy in an episode of X-Files like last month called Genderbender. And it's about a cult where people, I don't know, he played like a rapist, so it was...
He's got a character, huh?
It wasn't a very good X-Files episode, but yeah, this guy plays like a shady guy, I guess. But I knew, I was like, I've seen this guy recently. He kind of has like and I don't say this to be mean, but he has like kind of just like a dopey face. Like I would imagine he's been cast because of his face quite a bit. But yeah, he's in this. And then we get the other guy, and I'll just do the bio now since we're there. Mike Grief, who, again, is reprising his role of George from No No Godot 3 years ago, which is just, like, super... I mean, I guess it doesn't bother me one way or the other, but it's super weird, right?
Somebody got out the Home Improvement Bible and went back a few episodes and thought, this is the guy. We got to get him back on the show.
Yeah, it's just, like, that's so weird. They seem to not really ever care about continuity to speak of until like now. But Mike Grief, he is best known for Liar Liar, Epic Movie, Ed TV, and The Mentalist. 84 credits to his name. And he's still doing some things. Nothing I'm real familiar with, but some Two Broke Girls. I know it's always been a favorite of yours. That's about it. So yeah, good to see him come back. I was shocked.
Yeah, by George, they did it. All right, so they're in the shop, and they're looking around for car parts. They're looking specifically for a GT manifold. Oh, we think we got one of those around here someplace. It's a small shop, so it kind of shocks me. We get George, see him from prison, and he says, like, he goes over to them. He says, "Don't I recognize you guys from county jail or something?" Some joke like that, and they all deny it. They find the manifold, and Al has to lick it to confirm, and he does so. Sure enough, this is the same manifold. Al starts to lose his cool pretty quickly. I guess he's feeling vindicated, maybe? I'm not sure. Things start to heat up in the shop, as they go kind of to confront them at the checkout.
I think they're paying.
Yeah, well, Tim was gonna just pay, but Al seems to be like wanting to take them under citizen's arrest or something.
Well, I like the idea of that happening. Yeah.
So things get a little dicey, and as soon as things are about to come to fisticuffs, the cops come in because Heidi called them.
Yeah.
George feels betrayed. He says, "I let you borrow my soap."
Yeah, there's a really good as Al is like. Before the cops come, like, things are kind of unfolding. Al is like, I don't really know what he's doing, but he's got a fanny pack on, and maybe he's pulling out his wallet to pay. It's kind of unclear. But they spot the camera, and Al says it's like a pacemaker or something, or like a fake heart. And they're like, "What? Why? It's not logical." And he's like, HMOs, what are you gonna do?"
Yeah.
That's a really good line.
It is a good line. Al does a lot of like, so he has the camera in like the breast of his jacket, and so he's doing a lot of like shifting his whole body to turn and look at people to get footage. So that's interesting as well.
Yeah, the cops, like Heidi calling the cops, like I guess you gotta end this somehow. I don't know, but it doesn't make a ton of sense. But it could be worse, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a stretch, but whatever.
It's fine. And the cops like bring these guys in. They because they have proof, I guess.
Bring down the hammer of justice.
At the time, I wasn't really sure what the proof is, but in the next scene, we get a little bit more information.
Can you imagine this like trial?
Will this hold up in court? I don't know.
This tastes exactly like jelly.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say one more thing. As the way this kind of wrapped up, it almost felt like it was meant to be. I guess you would call this manifold destiny.
That wasn't an alternative title for you, huh?
Yeah, I just thought of it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad you did.
Yep. Next scene.
Later, Tim and Al are famous. They're on the news. They shut down the chop shop. I didn't mention this earlier, but did you notice there's like 3 or 4 like weird Spanish jokes in this episode?
Well, I know about the Gutierrez one, but what was the other one?
There's a couple. I didn't write them down at the time, but I noticed after this one that there's like 3 of them in there.
What's the joke with the Gutierrez? Just that she really accentuates it, or what are we doing?
Yeah, they do a lot of that. I don't get it.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, like, it would be one thing if, like, the person's name was, like, really silly or something, but, like, I don't know. I'm not sure if, like, I'm not sure if I should be offended or, like,
I think it might be, if I looked at all 3 of them together now, I think it probably would be an offensive thing to do.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? Don't like it then.
don't like it. If anybody wants to do the research there, there's something there. I'm sure of it.
All right, yeah. This is something stinks here.
Something stinks. Jill still thought this was a stupid idea from the start. She's not wrong, but now Brad's going to start looking for new cars. So I guess they can't rebuild this car. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess not. I don't know. Maybe the writers are just like, we don't need to watch Tim like restore a 5th car or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Jill doesn't remember having to worry about such things when she was younger. You know, it's scary out there now. And the next car is going to get a new sweet security system. And guess where it's coming at him? It's coming out.
It's got a car budget. It got to come out of the car
Tim's
budget.
car budget. Yep.
Brad says that his generation doesn't have any principles.
Ha-ha!
I don't know. Mark has got a duckling to glaze, so that's kind of all we got from that. Jill says her generation didn't have anything to worry about. I'm gonna go ahead and beg to differ on that. If you want to look through the late '60s into the '70s, kind of bad times nationally. A little thing called Vietnam. I don't know, Jill. Something to think about. Right?
Yeah, '80s probably weren't the greatest thing ever with HIV/AIDS.
Yeah,
and stuff too.
You know what? Let's just cool. Everybody always thinks the current time is the worst. Although this current era we're in actually might be the worst. Tool time. They're doing a segment on car security.
Yeah.
It's apt after what just happened. We got the new car that Brad got. Do you know what the car was?
I did not know.
Okay, that's a new car. They're moving quick here. Brad needs a car though.
Yeah.
Tim challenges Al to break in, because they got a new system. So he gives him a crowbar. Al very quickly gets in. He tells him that his paycheck is in the glove box. So Al says, "Hey, I got to go get that." So he breaks in with the crowbar, and then he's locked in, and the horn is blaring, and the airbag goes off, and the system is working. And That's roll credits, fade to black, chop, shop till you drop, a.k.a. Mark a la mode.
Wow. I'm glad that Al's neck didn't get broken by the airbag or anything. That would have been a problem.
It was a pretty weak airbag, to be honest. I don't know. I'd maybe look into that if you're inspecting things.
All right, Adam, let's go. Let's take a drive into Castle's Corner. I'm going to lock the car, though, because you just never know.
Well, these days, you just have to worry about so much anymore.
You just
So it's
do.
chill.
I'm wondering, I think I know where you're going with this episode. I think you liked it.
I liked it, yeah, for sure. I had a good time.
What did you like the most?
I like that you're prompting me through this thing that we've done 190 times. What did I like the most? I thought there were some really crisp jokes here, Jordan.
Yeah.
A lot of good one-liners. The writer, I don't know, they had a good voice. And specific jokes, let me think. Oh, Brad's joke about high school. And, like, Brad, when he finds out the car is stolen and comes home, that's a really good scene. Tim has... I actually think the cooking jokes work for once, for whatever reason. I don't know, I just thought that kind of worked. Like, Mark, if you're... Like, okay. On one hand, it's kind of dumb because, like, they'll just have Mark do this for one episode and it'll never come back.
Right.
Like, Mark's never going to cook again. Like, so that's just kind of what they're doing with Mark. But this worked for whatever reason for me. Tim has some good jokes about, like, the cooking and stuff. But I just felt like there was a lot of good one-liners. Al's HMO joke, etc. So I laughed a lot. Brad having car trouble is not necessarily a new thing. We've seen that a couple of times. But, anytime, like, sitcom stuff, like people going undercover, pretty much always works. I feel like I'm always going to enjoy that. I can think of some Office episodes where that happens. Like Seinfeld, that happens a little bit. Like, it's just undercover stuff is kind of always funny.
There's a lot of hijinks that can happen, so.
Yeah. Another thing I thought was really good was I did like the visual gag with them potentially being dressed as women, but then not. I was also, again, relieved that they weren't. That's a good visual gag. I just thought it was a lot of good jokes in this one. I laughed a lot, and I didn't really know where it was going. So I had a good time with it, yeah.
Yeah, I echo a lot of what you say. I think you're right, Sarge. A lot of good jokes here. We Brad saying he got all A's and B's, and kind of Tim's reaction is good. I think perhaps the biggest high of this episode is that there is not one mention of Marty and the girls. Not one.
You're right. That's probably why I enjoyed it so much. Yeah.
I think it's honestly true. Like, it's probably not like that. There was certainly some good writing, but it's not like an amazing episode. But coming off of those episodes where we're so sick of that, it's nice to do something different.
Yeah, it was cool to see, like, people just not, like, argue with one another for
about
22
the same
minutes.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Over and over again. Yeah, so it was fun. A bit of a lighter tone. And, I don't know. Like,
any lows? I'm trying to think. I guess the lesbian joke's
obvious. Not great.
Yeah.
I don't know. That mustache looked really good on Tim. So.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of lows. If the Spanish jokes were offensive, then that would be a low. I'd have to think more about that. But I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
There's not a lot to complain about here.
Yeah, in general, this is a pretty solid one for me. So.
All right. With that, let's move on to social media. You can reach out to us at thehomeandpodcast.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. I do have a YouTube comment here from our friend Matt. You know how you were talking about, I shouldn't say just you, but we were talking about our favorite cereals, and you talked about how you'd come home and have multiple bowls of cereals. Matt wanted to outdo you, and he said he got out not just a regular cereal bowl, he would get out a mixing bowl after school because he couldn't contain his cereal cravings. So
that's
looks like you got a little bit of a competition, Adam.
Whoa! All right, you know what? I'm gonna let him win that one.
All right. Other than that, I'd love to hear. I know you don't have as many polls, but I'd love to hear what you do have.
Yeah, I have some stuff, and I'm getting there momentarily. One poll this week. You gotta have a big poll week. You gotta slow it down.
You had like 3 tennis matches. There's less time for polls.
Yeah, you're right. Favorite twins. Which of these twins are your favorite? Here are the options. Marty's daughters, Tia and Tamara Mowry.
Oh.
The little girls from The Shining, or the Property Brothers.
It's Tia and Tamara. Is that what it was? I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be them. I don't care what other people say.
Well, this is kind of some BS in my opinion, but 29 total votes. 44.8 said Marty's daughters. Homers. 37.9 said Tia and Tamara Mowry.
Yeah, buddy.
10.3 said the Property Bros, and 6.9 said the Shining Girls.
Sister.
Yeah, for sure. It should for sure be them. Two people, Beverly Gaudette and Dagobah, said that the Olsen twins should have been an option.
Good option.
Yeah, it should. If I would have put the Olsen twins, it would have been a landslide.
Yeah, you couldn't have put them on
Too
there.
obvious.
Yeah, I had a big crush on them when I was a young boy. Big crush.
Jordan, get in line, my man. Who didn't? Billboard Dad.
Dad. There was another one where they were like...
Oh, It Takes Two is that's cinema.
Yeah, but there was like I'm sure this was just like straight to VHS, and it was like the Olsen twins mysteries or something like that.
Yeah, I was a member of the Mary Kate and Ashley fan club. So I was getting stuff in the mail.
I'm pretty sure I was as well.
Nice. I know what we're doing next.
And now Elizabeth Olsen's my favorite, believe it or not.
She is good. Yeah.
How do you like that?
I love it. Yeah.
What other polls do you have?
That's all I got. That's it.
All right, that was worthy. It only needs to be one poll this week, so... All right, I assume no questions in the mailbag.
Nah, that's it. That's all.
All right, well, Adam, I had a lovely week with you. Next week, you want to know what we're going to cover?
Yeah.
This is not the movie, but the name of this episode is going to be Home Alone.
Whoa, I wish it was the movie. Home Alone. Oh, you know what? I feel like this is supposed to be one of the worst Home Improvement episodes. I remember some people saying that like years ago. Okay, well,
Something to look forward to.
It should be interesting. It'll be so bad it's good. But yeah, until next time, Jordan. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Listeners, thank you for listening, and I guess I should say, take care.
Take care, everybody.